used to be so naive when it came to men and dating. My ex even told me this after we broke up, that I was so naive, and I was offended at the time, but oh my goodness, he was so right. I was so naive when it came to men and dating. These are the things that I wish my mom taught me. If I had a big sister, my big sister taught me. I wish I knew these things. I wish somebody taught me. And that's why I'm here with you today, in case nobody gave you the talk and the DL on men and dating. I got out of a 4.5 year relationship back in August of 2024. And looking back, I don't want to say manipulated, because I don't like to play the victim, but let's just say I was naive, and there were a million and one things that I would never put up with now, and never, ever, ever do for a man now, that I, looking back, I mean, she didn't know any better, but good Lord, God bless her soul. All right. So number one is never do more for a man and put more energy into a man than he is putting into you. Men value, number one, what they have to work hard for, what they think is difficult to achieve or get, or is scarce or high value. And the more energy you're putting into a man, the more you're telling him that he doesn't have to work at all for you, at all. And at the end of the day, this stems from a lack of self-love, because if you were to love and respect yourself, you would never pour energy into somebody who is not reciprocating the energy back, because you understand that you are so valuable and that you are worth all of the love and time and energy and care and effort in the world, and you are not willing to settle for anything less. So looking back, for me, I definitely used to chase men my entire life, and it just stemmed from the fact that I did not love or like myself. I had low self-confidence, and so me chasing these men was basically me chasing their love and validation, because I didn't feel secure in myself. So never ever put more effort into a man than he is putting into you. I mean, for me, at this point in my life, because I know how valuable my time and energy is, a man has to show me a tremendous amount of time, effort, and energy for me to even want to pour energy back into him. And here's the thing is, men get lazy over time. So if he's giving you the bare minimum, it's just going to get worse from here. It's natural for human beings to get lazier over time. And so if he's not putting in a tremendous amount of effort in the beginning, it's just going to go downhill. You working for their love and affection, thinking, oh, I'll win him over. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. They are going to devalue you and see you as less than, because you are putting them on a pedestal and basically saying, you're above me and I'm below you. So the remedy for this is you have to build your self-confidence, and you have to build your self-love and self-worth, and put your time and energy into things that bring you so much joy and pleasure, that for you to give your time and energy to a man has to be well worth it. But if you are wasting your time laying in bed watching Netflix, of course, a man's validation is going to feel so good because you're doing diddly squat with your life. So you have to start pouring your time and energy into things that bring you so much joy and pleasure and have a purpose and a passion in life. Because when you fill your life with things that bring you that joy and that pleasure and that passion, again, you are going to require so much from a man for you to even be willing to give him any of your time and energy and effort, because your life is already so full. And so if you don't want to be taken advantage of, if you don't want to be treated like less than and actually be treated like the queen that you are, you need to first build your self confidence by creating a life, creating a body, creating health, choosing habits, and creating a lifestyle that makes you feel so good about yourself that you would never, ever, ever have the desire to chase a man or put energy into a man who is not showering you with everything, all of your heart's desires. And if you were like me and you grew up with parents telling you to be humble and to not be full of yourself, not be conceited, not be stuck up, that material things aren't important. You know, if you like material things, it means that you are stuck up and that you are, what's the word? Vain and superficial. We're going to throw that out the window right now. I was taught that growing up, and it made me accept and settle for crumbs, which then led to the man who's starting out the relationship giving you crumbs, becoming even more low effort over time, which I didn't even know if it's possible. And you're in this relationship where you are doing everything for them and he's doing absolutely nothing. He's literally just existing, all stemming from these limiting beliefs that you need to you need to accept the bare minimum, or you need to work hard or chase love. Absolutely not. Because if you believe that you are not worth the absolute world and you don't believe that you deserve the best, I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to resent your partner, your husband, because you are going to do everything for him because you're a hardworking boss babe and you're a giver and you love pouring energy into other people. If you accept crumbs, you are going to feel like you gave absolutely everything and received nothing in return. And you are hoping that one day, all of the love that you're pouring into this man is eventually going to come back to you. He's going to see all the things that he did for you. That is not how men work. No, they don't see all the things that you did for them and go, oh, maybe I should give that back. No, they take what you give them. So if you teach them that you're willing to put up with them, that you're willing to accept crumbs, they're going to do the bare minimum. They're going to do what you allow them to do. So if you let them know, hey, like I'm not, and you don't even have to do this verbally. I don't do it verbally. I do it energetically. If you, with your energy, let them know that you are not willing to settle for low standards, either number one, if he actually values and likes you, he's gonna be like, okay, shoot, like this girl, like she requires a lot more from me, and I am willing to step up to the plate because I see the value in this woman and I want her. Or if he's just lazy and he doesn't want to work hard for what he wants, he's gonna be like, oh no, that's too much effort for me. And that's great. You want to push away the wrong men. Trust me, you want to push away the wrong men. Okay. So that is number one. Number two, I wrote down notes, but I forgot. Okay. So number two, straight up, all relationships are transactional. All relationships are transactional. And what I mean by that is you are both expecting something of each other. I think the idea of unconditional love is a great notion, but let's be real. Marriages, relationships are not unconditional love, because if your partner cheated on you and beat the crap out of you, like unconditional love would be like, no, you should still love him and be with him. No, we do expect things of our partners. And so you have to understand all relationships are transactional and each person wants something out of a relationship. You have to figure out, what do you want out of a relationship? and what do you want to give in a relationship. There is no right, wrong, good or bad. Okay. I need you to get that out of your head. Society, your mom, your dad is going to tell you, no, you should do this. You should want this. You shouldn't want that. No, there's no right, wrong, should or shouldn't. You have to figure out for you what you want to receive in a relationship and what you are willing to give. Okay. So when you are clear on what type of relationship you are willing to, you want, that is ideal for you, that when you give what it is you want to give and receive what you want to receive, it works for both parties. That is when relationships work the best. So for example, in, let's just say like in an age gap relationship, right? If the older man, like let's say the older man wants a very attractive, young, beautiful, charismatic woman that he can bring to his, I don't know if you can hear, my dogs are barking, that he can bring to his business parties and that he can show off to his friends. And yes, of course, he wants an actual, genuine emotional connection with the person. Everybody does. But at the end of the day, he does want somebody who is very beautiful, who is young, he can bring around and to his business parties and kind of be like arm candy. There's nothing wrong with that. Like that's what he wants and that's fine. He has to know that. And then the woman has to understand, what is she willing to give? Maybe she just wants a man who is going to financially provide for her and have that safety net for her, right? And so she understands, okay, what I want from this relationship is financial security, amongst other things, like again, an understanding partner, someone who is emotionally supportive, somebody who's compassionate, et cetera, et cetera. Someone who might be a good dad if they eventually want kids. But she decides the most important thing for me is financial security. And what am I willing to give? I'm willing to give up having a career because this man wants me to be available 24/7. Like, is she willing to give that? If she is, that's totally fine. But again, it's understanding, what do you want out of a relationship? So for me, in the past, I thought that all I wanted was just somebody that I could talk to and that I could connect with, um, emotionally. And what I've learned is that's not enough at all. At all. That is not enough. And I used to think that was enough, and that's fine because I didn't know any better. But now I've realized, okay, relationships are transactional. I'm here to provide something. What am I willing to provide? What do I feel good providing as one end of this relationship? And then also, what do I want from my partner? What is it that I want and need from a partner? And so when you get clear on what type of relationship that you want, that you're willing to give in and get something in return for, you're not going to have that feeling of resentment or that feeling of anger that you poured so much into this person and got absolutely nothing back when you didn't even know what you wanted. The lack of clarity is the reason why so many of us get into relationships where we it ends up in a breakup or a divorce, or we end up feeling resentful, or all whatever, because we were not clear on what we wanted, and we were also not clear on what we were willing to give and what felt good for us to give. So like, let's say example for me, I have never wanted children. I do not want to be a mom, and that is, being a mother and providing children is absolutely something that I am never willing to give. That is something I'm so very clear on. So when I meet a man, he's like, no, I absolutely want children and I want a big family. I'm like, that is not something I'm willing to provide, right? But also in return, as women, we're so, again, because as people pleasers, we are taught to give, but never to expect anything in return. This is when you're going to be set up in a relationship where you are getting the bare minimum because you had no expectations for this man of what he needs to provide for you. And it's not about nagging him or telling him like, hey, like you need to provide these things, but it's about knowing, hey, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship. So as you're dating, you can assess if that man has those qualities. That is very important. And this is something that I really didn't realize is like, yeah, I'm expected to provide something. And I also am allowed to expect something in return. And that's okay. That is more than okay. That's not just okay. That is the point of relationships. And the idea of unconditional love and unconditional loyalty has harmed our society so much, and is the reason why people are in my opinion, in such crappy relationships, because they're like, oh well, I should just put up with like anything and everything, and they're not getting their needs met because they don't even know that they have needs. They don't know that it's okay to have needs. It is okay to have needs. You have needs. You're a human being. You have needs. You have needs. And if those needs are not being met, you are allowed to leave the relationship or decide that this is not the man for you, unless you want to be angry and resentful for the rest of your relationship. So you are allowed to have needs, and you are allowed to ask for those needs, but in the beginning dating stages, understanding what those needs are and assessing if this man has those qualities is so important. For me, I just chased love so desperately my entire life. And I just thought that their validation and their love was enough. And here's the thing is, love is this emotional feeling. Like love, we often, and I definitely confuse love with lust and those beginning emotional sparks and excitement. That is going to wax and wane. That is not going to be constant your entire relationship. And so you have to understand that that is not something that's actually reliable, because that's based on human emotions. And as humans, our emotions are not reliable at all, at all. And so, yes, of course, that connection and that love needs to be there, but it can't be the only thing that you're expecting of this relationship, because when you no longer have that, what else is this relationship providing for you? In my opinion, a relationship works when both parties have something that the other person either cannot provide for themselves or does not want to provide for themselves. And so when you come together, you're able to be a stronger unit than if you were alone. And so you have to ask yourself, with this partner, is it making me, is it helping my life and making me stronger being with this person? Or am I actually better off alone because I'm actually pouring more into this person and receiving absolutely nothing? I was a chronic overgiver. And I really, not just even in men, but in work and friendships, just felt like I need to give so that I could earn people's love. And again, I realized that with relationships and with men and with how they are wired, that is going to set you up to be absolute, you're going to attract the most low effort men. And the men who actually want to put that energy and effort into you are going to wonder why you're willing to accept crumbs. And it's going to make you seem low value with low self-worth, because at the end of the day, that's what you are showing them that you are. I if you've been in a relationship where you have just poured your heart and soul into this man and you've gotten absolutely nothing back, my heart goes out for you because I know that that stems from low self-worth and low self-confidence, and nobody has taught you otherwise. I mean, perhaps people have just tore you down and tore and criticized you, and that is why you don't feel like you're enough. I can definitely say that was my scenario and the reason why I felt like I had to work so dang hard for love and for validation. But you're the only one that can do this work. You're the only one that can change your life. And you're the only one that can build your self confidence. And the only way you're going to build your self confidence is by getting rid of the habits that make you dislike yourself. Like, for example, maybe you emotionally eat every night, and you know that you doing that every night is making you dislike yourself. It is learning how to overcome the habits that you're doing that are making you dislike yourself and start implementing habits that make you respect and love and like yourself. So for me, the fact that I put so much time and energy into my fitness and um the way I dress and learning and my mind and increasing my knowledge and pouring into my clients and working on my emotional health so that when I go out into the world, when I get triggered, I can handle it gracefully. And I never have a situation where when I get triggered, I say something that I regret later because I've worked so hard on my own emotional and mental health and emotional control so that I can respond in a way that I'm always going to be proud of. All these little things that I've put time and energy into every single day has helped me build so much self love and self respect. And even having the courage to leave a 4.5 year relationship and completely rebuild my life, move out of the house that we had together, give up 2 of my dogs, having the strength and courage to do that last year has helped me build so much self-confidence and self-trust because now I know that I will never put up with a situation that where I'm being taken advantage of. Never again will I do that. And that doing those hard things is what has helped me build self-love and self-confidence and self-trust. And so when you do hard things that are in alignment with you, your highest self, whatever that looks like to you. Like for me, okay, I love being super shredded and having abs. Maybe your highest self doesn't have abs, right? That's okay. But for me, like I feel like my highest self has abs and really puts a lot of time and energy into her physique, right? It's different for everybody. But you eliminating the habits in your life that go against your ideal and highest self and starting to implement habits that support your highest self. And if you've never had that conversation with yourself, ask yourself, what does my highest self look like? What does her lifestyle look like? What are her mental habits? What are her nutrition habits? What are her mindset habits? What does she tell herself? How does she deal with hardship? How does she deal with rejection? All of these things you have to ask yourself so that you can really analyze your life and figure out what you need to work on to become your highest self, because the closer you become to your highest self, again, the more self-love and self-confidence and self-worth that you're going to have, and the more you're going to realize what you deserve from a man. And if you don't receive it, you also understand that you're going to be fine because you've set up a life for yourself that you love. And so even if this pretend man doesn't exist and can't give you what you want, you're going to give it to yourself. Like, I know what I deserve, and I may be single forever. I don't know. If I am, that's totally okay. I mean, is that preferable? No. But I trust that I can can and will continue to build a life that I love. And so when you can trust yourself and fall back on yourself and know that you've got your back no matter what, you are never going to accept crumbs from a low effort man again. And if you end up in a relationship with a man who was great in the beginning and he switches and he stops putting in that effort, and you have those conversations with him and he's just not in it anymore, you have the self-discipline and the self-love to walk away. And so I say that because I never want you to be scared of getting into a relationship with the wrong person, because the more that you focus on building your own self-love and self-confidence, it's going to be, I'm not going to say easy, but it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to walk away when you realize that this is not the right man, this is not the right partner, this is not the right relationship. You can learn to trust yourself. And so you do not need to be scared when you date. I don't want you to be scared when you go out on dates or when you date men, but I want you to build your self-trust and your self-confidence, because the bigger and higher your self-trust and self-confidence is, you are gonna know when a situation is not right for you, and you are going to have the courage and the strength to walk away. And ultimately, that's what I want for any woman, because you don't know in the beginning. I mean, even if you have the highest standards, men can change, people can change at any point in time, but I want you to have so much self-trust and self-confidence that you can walk away at any point in time, that you trust that no matter what, you've got your back. I've got my back no matter what, no matter who comes in and out of my life, literally no matter who comes in and out of my life. I know that I have my back 24/7, all the time, every day. And that is the most important thing. And so when you focus on that and building unshakable self-confidence and self-love, dating is going to become a game, a breeze. So easy.